So we're going to look at this match between OG and Chicken Fighters. For people who don't know, Chicken Fighters is a Swedish stack of like Swedish players, and OG is a two-time TI winning team. They won actual real TIs, not fluke TIs like some people won. But really in the first like 6 minutes of this game, they pretty much nothing really went on that was interesting. You see the scores: 1 kill and 0 deaths. And Earthspirit ends up rotating top. He's currently level 2, very under leveled, but Riki has hit level 6, which means there's a big imbalance of the levels between their team, what you would normally see in your own matches. So here we end up having Undying getting some vision onto the Skyra. This enables Earthspirit to hit a roll in, and the stun. The roll actually stuns the hero, and then the kick of the stone slows them. So a pretty easy kill there, because Riki is the one that has all of the damage, and they were waiting for that level 6 before the Earth Spirit would even rotate there. Now when Earth Spirit does rotate top, he doesn't have a teleport to go back to the lane. So this is where the other support Undying just teleports to bottom and help here instead, because the Nyx can't lane alone, and the Earth Spirit can't really get back there at a quick enough point. Having to walk the entire way across the map is very slow, and teleporting there is much faster. So that's a very typical thing you want to do as a sport. But I want to point this out where Riki is being silenced right now. He can't do anything to react to this, and pretty much Mars what he wants to do is put a wall up with his ultimate and spear Riki onto it. However, the Earth Spirit responds to this really nice, where he rolls in and he actually kicks the Mars away, so it makes it very hard for him to actually like try and get Riki's correct position here, and he doesn't end up hitting the spear, and Earth Spirit basically ends up saving him without the use of his silence. His third spell on Earth Spirit uses a silence, and pretty much he makes up for having this skill build of a 2-1-0. So Earth Spirit ends up pulling the creeps. However, Riki's after being caught here, he's dream coiled by Puck. However, the Earth Spirit does manage to get back into range just so that Riki can hop to him. So that's just another little thing about being aware where your teammates are, and also just good coordination within the team itself. Now, coming up to 10 minutes here, the bounty runes are about to spawn. However, Mars has moved up out of position, and Earth Spirit does miss the roll. However, that does enable them to get a kill, which is probably more impactful. But they do end up missing the runes, which is pretty bad. But like, you know, you have to do some sort of trade-offs. There's always going to be this opportunity cost between should you go for a kill or bounty runes or whatever. But if you try and go for the kill and you don't get the kill, that actually ends up being much worse, and you don't get the bounty runes either. So the enemy team is setting up to go push and siege mid lane, and we have a response here coming as well. The supports on OG are only level 5, and we have Morphling here as well. Now the big spell you want to look at here is going to be the Earth Spirit rolling in and hitting the silence here, and the silence ends up going in onto the Terrorblade, and the Terrorblade just gets bursted down. So this ends up giving them a huge advantage going into the start of this fight, and very like fastly they basically like counteracted this. And when Terrorblade died, Earth Spirit hit level 6, which then let him use his ultimate and output a lot of damage in this team fight. And we also have Shadow Demon even getting caught in the back again by another roll. So this is a very effective fight. It hugely propels them ahead and catches Nyx back up to, you know, a huge momentum shift for this Nyx, because he got an ultra kill. So now they're going for a smoke play here, and just trying to find someone and do something. You'll also notice that he went for an Urn of Shadows. This is a lot of time just because Riki or the Morphling, they don't really have anyone else to build like regen for their team, so Earth Spirit tends to be quite a good hero here. But they end up catching the Skyrat, and the Skyrat, you know, pretty easily gets bursted down here. But the Earth Spirit commits a little bit too far forward. The Puck comes in behind him. I don't think he ended up seeing the Puck there, but he ends up just getting speared to the tree, and there's no way to respond to this. Just really cut out by the position of this Puck particularly, and then overcommit as well at the same time. So now when Earth Spirit respawns, the enemy team has decided to commit further into this fight, and Earth Spirit is back and he goes straight onto Puck. He misses the Magnetize. He slows the Mars, which is run really slow, but the Riki is actually a heavy counter pick into the Puck. So Puck has a really hard time against Riki as a hero. Just the skill set, the fact that Riki can silence the AoE around where Puck is, that makes it very hard. Now Earth Spirit's just being annoying from a range as well, and he's always like carrying at least like one stone. He's not wasting them. He's being conservative to a certain extent. So now Earth Spirit is farming on mid lane, and we end up seeing that the Terrorblade illusion is coming across the river, and you can see Mars as well. However, Riki is sitting behind, and this is pretty much a bait here. He's waiting for the enemy to jump on him, and we end up seeing he throws out a silence. See the stone going through? It's actually silencing both Mars and Skyrat, so this is really fast reactions. Plus, Riki can jump in just afterwards and get another silence to chain on top of it, and pretty much the Mars can't spear anyone onto anything. However, Riki does end up going down for this, and they're not a great trade there, but it's a pretty nice play to see that sort of stuff going on. Catches the Shadow Demon, and pretty much what we end up seeing is that each of the enemies is getting caught one by one here, and pretty much Morphling is also after picking off the Skyrat in the backline as well, which we didn't see there. So this ends up effectively just giving them a tier 2 tower really simply, and they're gaining a huge amount of momentum off of this, and a large amount, still 100% participation rate of 14 assists with the 14 kills on their team. Pretty much what we end up having with Earth Spirit is it's a hero that wants to jump in really deep and initiate. However, the issue is if you don't have core heroes that can follow up on top of the Earth Spirit, it ends up not being as impactful, because Earth Spirit by himself is not able to burst down heroes very quickly. Whereas if you pick something like Riki or Morphling, you're able to have those two other heroes jump in on top with the Earth Spirit, and basically you don't have to build a blink dagger or do anything. You just jump in. So we end up seeing we have two Earth Spirits now. The Morphling has Aghanims, and he's jumping in on heroes as well and rolling in on them. And this is effectively a really nice combo as well. And even without this, we end up seeing look how much the Earth Spirit just rolls in aggressively. This fight started at the river, and now it's at their tier 3 tower within a few seconds. So this shows you the hyper mobility, and the pretty much you can jump on the enemy from really any place on the map, and they go straight into Roshan off of this. Now Earth Spirit does die here, and he doesn't really have any contribution to this Rosh fight. We're just going to skip this because we're just caring about Earth Spirit's impact in the game. I think just after this is a really good example of this hyper mobility. We have Puck and the Mars getting caught, and they both got silenced when Earth Spirit rolled in, and pretty much that the Mars ends up just getting bursted down here bit by bit, and the Earth Spirit now goes and rolls. And really the reason why he's just rolling in aggressively like this is because he's not going to die, but he's just trying to get vision for his teammates, because once Riki can get vision of an enemy, then he can click his blink strike onto them and go in super deep, as well as a Morphling chasing after him. And at this point the game is pretty much over. They end up just snowballing super far ahead, and they even end up farming the enemy inside in the fountain soon after this. So hopefully you enjoyed this. If you want to see more of this, make sure you subscribe. I'll be doing these throughout the DPC.